Good morning, everyone. I am Verna Rondina, together with my co-researchers, Julene Rose Duran, David Ian Valdez, Kyron Pete Bono, Hannah Hortelano, and Jack Brave Veraldi. We are the Group 4 Humss-A, and our research title of the study is The Effects of Parental Involvement Towards Students' Academic Performances. And this is our rationale of the study. Parental involvement is the amount of parents' participation when it comes to the schooling of its children. Parents will provide financial support, emotional support, motivational support, and facilitate the sources to ensure their children's better academic performance. Jaiswal and Chowdhury, 2017. According to the Department of Education, it is stated that DepEd needs to educate parents more about how important education is for their children's future. It also needs to ensure that parents know the available resources to help their children succeed in school. Student has their difficulties in learning, which leads student to decrease its grades. According to the Child and Youth Welfare Code of the Philippines, the child is one of the most important assets of the nation. The promotion and enhancement of the child's life and welfare is also anchored on the moral supervision and support given by his parents or guardian. Maldonado, Wheat, Declercq, 2019. Student achievement and parental involvement is a serious concern, as it is apparent that parents are very likely to increase their efforts when their child is experiencing difficulties in achieving educational outcomes. Additionally, parents are the first and most important teacher that children encounter, and thus, their involvement in the children's education would accelerate and simplify learning, ultimately resulting to improved educational outcomes. Moroni et al. 2015. Therefore, parents have a vital role to guide, to help, to teach, to support, to motivate, and to interact their children to improve its educational outcomes. Student with less knowledge and with less involved parent has shown globally that it has an impact to its behavior and academic performance. On the international scale, parental involvement in school has long been heralded as an important and positive variable on children's academic and socio-emotional development. Lara and Sarkozy, 2019. In the Philippines, Filipino parents are engaged in their children's education and want them to succeed, yet filial responsibilities ingrained in their culture necessitates the needs of the family ahead of the needs of an individual child. Bartolome, Mamat, and Mansan, 2017. In the light of the findings from the research, it is consequently concluded that the parents of elementary in Sibunga Central Elementary School are experiencing numerous challenges during this new normal setup. These findings correspond and agree with Epstein's overlapping spheres of influence theory. That demonstrates and suggests that both parents and teachers should make an effort mutually in terms of communicating, learning at home, and parenting to address parents' concern in offering academic success to students, because education is a vital determinant of a country's development. Kentonar, Eladora, and Quezon, 2021. In local setting at Masug National High School, the researchers have observed that some students in Captain Mariano L. Espera Junior Memorial National High School have less knowledge on discussion, which leads them with less score and tests and exams. It is said by some students in Captain Mariano L. Espera Junior Memorial National High School that having less knowledge and less intelligence on the teacher's discussion may lead them to get bored in class. Others also say reviewing and studying is not their habits. Instead, playing games and being active in social media is their top priorities. According to the parent of student, I think it is not necessarily to involve parents in school. It doesn't matter whether parents with high involvement to school, it increases its grades too. However, one parent said, parents' involvement have a good and positive impact to their children's studies. The more involved parents, the greater the chance they get motivated and encouraged. Additionally, a teacher from Captain Mariano L. Espera Junior Memorial National High School stated that one of the major factors that could affect students' grades are the guidance and involvement of parents towards their studies. And somehow, we have these students with less involved parents that apparently could affect their performance in school that may lead to lower grades. Parents' involvement matters because researchers believe students whose parents are involved in their education will be more likely to develop strong foundation of learning as theorized by Vygotsky on his guided participation. A child can learn more of their cognitive skills through the guidance of the parents. With that, it could affect students' motivate to learn and sense of competence inside the classroom when they are loved, valued, and of importance by their parents. This motivates researchers to conduct a study about the involvement of parents in school, since it indicates that there is a need to conduct a study that proves parental involvement is significantly related to students' academic performance. These are the step-by-step process of the researchers on implementing the study. Our conceptual framework is the Child and Youth Welfare Code of the Philippines. The aim of this study is to assess the relationship between parental involvement towards students' academic performance and the effectiveness of parental involvement among students in Maslog National High School academic year 2022 to 2023. The study attempts to answer the following. 1. Determine the respondent's grade. 2. Determine the factors of parental involvement. 3. Identify the level of parental involvement towards students' academic performance. 4. Identify the significant relationship between IV and DV. And 5. Recommendation. Our classification of research in terms of purpose is explanatory research. In terms of process data, quantitative research. In terms of output, basic research. In terms of logic, deductive research. Our methodologies is survey. Our statistics is inferential statistics. Our output is basic research.
Scope and limitations. This study will assess the significant correlation between the two variables in the area of Captain Mariano L. Espera Jr. Memorial National High School. The researchers will only include the following factors such as parenting, communicating, volunteering, learning at home, decision-making, and collaborate with the community. And for the other factors, it may not conclude on this study. Those factors are used to be as an indicators in a research questionnaire. The students in Captain Mariano L. Espera Jr. Memorial National High School from grade 7 to grade 12 are randomly chosen to be respondent of the study. The researchers have included all the grade level to ensure reliable data and to avoid biased results. Statement of the problem. The aim of this study is to assess the relationship between parental involvement towards students' academic performance among students in Maslog National High School academic year 2022 to 2023. Specifically, the study attempts to answer the following. Number 1. Determine the respondent's demographic profile. A. Grade level. B. Strand. C. Name. D. Grade. Number 2. Determine the factors of parental involvement. 3. Identify the level of parental involvement towards students' academic performance. Number 4. Evaluate the process on each factor by the respondents. Number 5. Assess the significant relationship between independent variable and dependent variable. Number 6. Recommendation.
Significance of this study. This study is about parental involvement towards the academic performance of students in Maslog National High School. The findings of the study are beneficial to the following. Students of Maslog National High School will gain insight about influence of the study, parental involvement towards the academic performance of senior high school students. Such insight may lead to realization of their parent involvement about their academic performance. It may also lead them to be aware of the importance of parental involvement, thus making them improve the student's achievement, self-esteem, and behavior. First, parents will gain insight about the effect of parental involvement towards the academic performance of their children, making them aware of what's happening to their children. It may also lead them to change their perspective about their children's decision. Teachers will gain insight about the relationship between the parents and their children and the effects of their academic performance through this study. Such insight may lead to realization, which makes the teacher more understandable towards the students. researchers will gain to further pursue this study. The benefit of this study towards the researchers is because the researcher will further pursue to find the solution of this problem about this study, therefore making the researcher more agile and precise to conduct this study. The last is the future researchers. It will gain insight and benefits about this study because this make the study become an RRL, which would be useful for future researchers. They can get reference or perspective about the future researchers' related study, making the future researchers further understand this study. Definition of terms. Parental involvement is the involvement of parents towards the academic performance of their children. Academic performance. The evaluation of the students is based on the grades earned in various study courses taken during their senior high school. Students of Maslog National High School refers to the students that are enrolled in Maslog National High School. Parenting refers to the parents' involvement that needs disciplinary and psychological intervention. Bacol 2023. It also refers to the support of parents towards the students' education where effective parenting style will impact the students' academic performance. According to Darling and Steinberg 1993, suggests that parenting styles ought to be considered within the context of how parents' behaviors and practices impact child development. Therefore, parenting style has an impact to students' development, and it is related to parenting as it is the practices of parents. Communicating refers to the constant and visibility of the communication of the parents on the teacher and administration of the school. Classmates and others school personnel are counted. It also refers to the delivery of message that shares daily information about school activities and achievement. This also creates school website as the study of Dorisic and Bonjevic 2017. Includes also school website as it is an additional mode of communication with parents and families. Volunteering refers to parents' active participation and involvement of any school-related activities. It also includes preparation for upcoming school activities and providing financial support to the school activities and events. The study states the 3 basic ways that individuals volunteer in education. It is stated in the second ways, fundraising for an event. Therefore, parents financially give support to the school by giving it a budget for the school events. Learning at home refers to parents creating intervention to the lessons, project, and other purely academic-based activities. The activities include tutoring and helping their child to accomplish their assignment and project, and learning at home also creates new learnings in life. Decision-making refers to the parents' intervention of some activities of the children's school, community, career-based activities, and etc. that needs the knowledge of the parents. According to Epstein 1987, parental involvement in decision-making refers to the participation in advisory council, parent-teacher organization, parent advocacy groups, and other school, district, or level of educational committees. Collaborating with the community refers to the parents' active participation and involvement of any community-related activities. It includes parents as the council of organization or a part of organization.
Chapter 2. Review of related literature and related study. This study presents related literature and related study that will help researchers deepen their knowledge and understanding to the current study. It will guide the researcher to formulate a strong study that helps to broaden their information that is being gathered in different sources. Parental involvement. In previous study, the question remains imprecise and unclear. Parental involvement becomes contradictory since the study has no exact and common definition as the study of Jaiswal. In Chud Hari 2017 stated that parental involvement is important to study educational, yet the operation term has not appeared consistently in different research studies according to Epstein 2005. He emphasized parental involvement as essential component of school improvement linked to the curriculum, instruction, assessment, and other aspects of school management. This indicates that parental involvement is important student education, which leads a student to have passing grades. Demographic profile. According to El Rafai, Kabaha, and Eliter 2011, demographic characteristic refers to attributes that describe the status of people or a person, such as age, gender, ethnicity, or income in the study. The researchers have determined the demographic profile of students such as grade, level, strand, if applicable, name, and grade. Grade level and strand. Grade level refers to a level of study that has its student group or classified into grades by age. A strand is an area of study under academic track that senior high school students must take prepare for their chosen degree in college. The choice of career track will define the content of the subject a student will take in grade 11 and grade 12. Each student is a senior high school can be choose among 3 tracks: academic, technical, vocational, livelihood, and sports and arts. The grade level and strand is useful to this study because it is needed data to easily identify a respondent. Name. A common feature that humans have is having a personal name. A unique name includes the first name, giving birth, and a surname aimed at identifying a person. Indeed, David Zhu, professor of management and entrepreneurship at Arizona State University and researcher in the psychology of names, said because a name is used to identify an individual and communicate with the individual daily, it serves as the very basis of one's self-conceptions, especially concerning others. The name of the respondent will easily guessed by researcher by the name. Researchers use it to approach their teacher and ask permission to have assist their grades. So, grading of recommendation, assessment, development, and evaluation is a transparent framework for developing and presenting summaries of evidence and provide a systematic approach of making clinical practice recommendation. The term grading generally refers to the process of rating student progress or performance in areas of academic achievements, activities, or behavior using a coding system or established scale of values, such as letter, symbol, or percentage. The researcher have included grade as it needed data for it. Dependent variable grades will justify that parental involvement has impact to student academic performance.
Factors of parental involvement. Previous studies have determined the factors of parental involvement. In Epstein's study, he has identified 6 types of parental involvement in schooling, namely parenting, communicating, volunteering, learning at home, decision-making, and collaborating with the community. whose are factors that can be used as the indicators for the researchers' constructed questionnaire that can be done in Chapter 3. Dorisic and Bonijebak 2017 have defined parenting as the activities that parents engage in to raise happy, healthy children who become capable students. Communicating as the communication between families and schools to each other in multiple ways. Volunteering as it applies recruiting and organizing help and support from parents for school programs and students' activities. Learning at home as it pertains to providing ideas and information to parents about how they can best assess their children with homework and curricular-related decisions and activities. Decision-making as it refers to including parents in school decisions and to identifying and integrating community services and resources to support and strengthen school students and their families. Epstein 2001 and 2009 considers it to be significant for each school to choose what factors are believed to be most likely to assess the school in reaching its goal for academic success, and to develop a climate alliance between homes and the school. Each factor can be beneficial and can be helpful to both schools and parents. A factor that can be mostly assessed in school that will help to strengthen the knowledge of students will be the basis of the researchers to create a framework type of output. Levels of parental involvement of parents toward the student. The level of parental involvement of parents refers to the degree, whether the involvement of parents is high or low. It will determine the impact of parental involvement toward the student. According to the Positive Action Staff 2021, the level of parental involvement is crucial in producing a high impact on the children's academic achievement. The most common methodology that researchers have used in collecting data that suits to identify the level of parental involvement of parents is survey. Jones, Baxter, and Kanjuha 2011 state that survey research is a unique way of gathering information from a large cohort. A survey questionnaire must be used to conduct a survey. Accordingly, Preston 2009 state that questionnaire survey is the only appropriate for certain research questions. Survey questionnaire will organize a question that creates a collection of data that transform to numerical data analysis by using Likert scale. Likert scale is a rating scale used to measure opinions, attitudes, or behaviors, and it also consists of a statement or a question followed by a series of 5 or 7 answer statements, which respondents will choose the option that best corresponds with how they feel about the statement or question. Bandari and Nicolopolo 2022. The researchers will use survey as it is commonly used by the previous researchers and will also use Likert scale for the future questionnaire. The above is the flow of researchers' method in collecting data. The study of Fernando Alonso, Alvarez Diaz, Voigt Sach, Soares Alvarez, and Cuesta 2017 determined the level of parental involvement of parents toward the student, and it uses Likert type scale where response choices is 1 strongly disagree, 4 strongly agree. Researchers will use this response rate as the basis of our rating scale. For analyzing the data, measuring central tendency will help the researchers to find the middle or the average of the data set. The 3 most common measures of median and mean, Bandari 2022. To justify, central tendency is a tool under descriptive statistics. The researchers will use this to measure the mode of independent variables before taking the statistical tool for correlating. Evaluation of respondents' responses on each factors. Evaluation is a methodological area that is closely related to, but distinguishable from more traditional social research. Evaluation utilizes many of the same methodologies used in traditional social research, but because evaluation takes place within a political and organizational context, it requires group skills, management ability, political dexterity, sensitivity to multiple stakeholders, and other skills that social research in general does not rely on as much. Conjointly. In research, while using this method, survey with a 2 Likert scale for rating response, researchers use this agree-disagree questions. Agree-disagree scale is a range of answer options that go from strongly agree to strongly disagree. Survey Monkey. The response categories in Likert scale have a rank order, but the intervals between values cannot be presumed equal. Therefore, the mean and the standard deviation are inappropriate for ordinal data. Jamison 2014. Researchers' evaluation of response, probably the mode will be the most suitable and easy to interpret data. This assessment of respondents will tell the researchers about the discovery of the most rated factors that helps the school to gain higher development of students and helps the school to do new intervention and teaching process. Significant correlation between parental involvement and students' academic performance. Previous researchers have used person correlation to measure the significant correlation between the two variables. According to Turney, 2022, person correlation coefficient R is the most common way of measuring a linear correlation. A number between -1 and 1 measures the strength and direction of the relationship between two variables. Parental involvement has been shown to be an important variable that positively influences children's education. Kajipur and Gasvini 2011. The researchers will use person's correlation for correlation. This will be the appropriate statistical treatment or for correlation since many studies have used to it. Other studies have revealed their findings about significant correlations between two variables. The study of Daiswal and Choudhury 2017 state that parental involvement, whether at home or at school, have positive relationship with students' academic performance. Similarly, Kajipur and Gaziveni 2011 study about parental involvement and students' academic performance have shown to date that the two constructs seems to be positively related. The previous study have shown positively related. To this study, the researcher will explore the relation between the two variables at the local area of Maslog National High School. Durisik and Bonijebak 2017, increased parental involvement has been shown to result in increased student success, enhanced parents and teacher satisfaction, and improved school climate. Accordingly, Lara and Sarah Costes 2017 study have shown a collaborative relationship between parents and school. Additionally, Maldonado, Wetty, and De Klerk 2019 findings confirm that the parental involvement elements is likely to affect learning through increased communication at home. The study presents the benefits of parental involvement. It gives interest to researchers, so researchers are more interesting to conduct this study.
So today I'll be discussing about the chapter 3, our research methodology. So research methodology. This chapter, the research methodology is the survey to evaluate the validity and reliability of the study. So research methodology are the methods are used to collect the researchers' data of their survey. So let's get on to it. Method. The researchers will use quantitative data research to present the reliability of the study and collecting data in numerical form. So, method. So the method you're gonna use is the qualitative research, which is to which is survey and in a numerical form. Okay. So next is the environmental and local. So the researchers will conduct their research in Cap Mariano L. Espera Junior Memorial National High School. This area is located in Barangay Maslog. Next, the participants. The respondents of the study are the students in Cap Mariano L. Espera Junior Memorial National High School, whose students' grade level are grade 7 to grade 12. First, the researchers will send a consent to the office to be able to determine the GPA of students in all students selected in the study as respondents. All grade levels have a chance to be selected systematic sampling in a population of 1,367 and sample size of 301. So, participants, this is where we will get the respondents, which is the students of Captain Mariano Espera Jr. But first, the researchers will have to send a consent to be able to get the information or the necessary data to implement the study. Instrument. So the instrument used in the study is the questionnaire. So questionnaire is a list of questions or items used to gather data from participants. So questionnaire is the primary goal of questionnaire in research to be accurate as possible. So the next is the data gathering procedures preliminaries. So the researcher will ask permission to the principal office for the approval to conduct the survey to all grade levels. And after that, they're giving the permission to conduct their survey. The researchers will ask permission also to the teachers for the approval in conducting the survey. And also, the researchers have already calculated the cost of this implementation. So below are the timetable that the researchers will follow the step-by-step implementation of the survey. So as you can see, this is the timetable. So the timetable is the chart showing the dates of where and when to conduct their survey. The actual data collection. So the researchers will start to conduct the survey from grade 7 to grade 12 students. Before doing random selection, researchers have sent the consent to those respondents of the study which contain an agreement to participate or not in the study. So the respondents have the right to refuse the voluntary consent. After that, the researchers will start to select respondents randomly. So the researchers will pick randomly to avoid the procedural bias. Researchers ensure to procedure in the doing random sampling. By doing that, they are using the Excel generator list of names of students with assigned numbers. Will be attached in the Excel generator, and it will randomly pick 301 respondents. And for confirmatory biases, researchers will assure that the respondents have no connection to the researchers. So this is where the actual data collection, and to further not a procedural bias, researchers will use a random sampling, and by doing that, they need to use the Excel generator and list of the names of the students which assigned a grade consent. Post activities. So after distributing the questionnaire, the researchers will tally the questions from the first question to the last. It will be evaluated. The researchers will use a descriptive statistics to get the average, mean, range, and mode, to get the needed data in correlating. The mode is the most important in correlating after interpreting the data, the researchers will proceed to correlation. Okay. Analysis. After exploring the levels of parental involvement, the researchers will conduct a statistical test to test the strengths of relationship between two variables using the Pearson's correlation coefficient, or also known as Pearson-R statistical test. So, Pearson's correlation is developed by Carl Pearson, 1948, and it's commonly used to measure the strength, direction, and probability of linear association between two interval or ratio variables. Pearson's correlation coefficient tells a positive correlation if it is between 0 and 1, which means when one variable changes, the other variable changes in the same direction. No correlation if it is 0, which means no relationship between the variables. And negative correlation if it means 0 and -1, which means when one variable changes, the other variable changes in the opposite direction. So, here is the formula of the article written by Srivanstav. So, as you can see here, R stands for Pearson coefficient and number of the pairs of the stock, and so far and so on. So the p-value, so here also is where the p-value formula.
Ethical considerations. In this study, the researchers will assure the ethical considerations in conducting a survey, in which researchers will protect the privacy and confidentiality of the respondents. So, in our ethical considerations, we protect the respondents' data and assure their privacy. Conflict of interest. The researchers will assure that the respondents have no connection to the researchers. In our conflict of interest, we assure that the respondents have no connection to the researchers, so we can avoid bias. Voluntary content. The researchers will send a consent to those respondents who participate in the study. Respondents have the right to refuse in participation. So in a voluntary content, we will send and consent for them to accept or refuse our offer to them to participate in our study, and we will not force them to participate. Privacy and confidentiality. The researchers will not provide a personal information on their respondents. Details that would be seen will be the demographic profile only, grade level, and strand. Other information is prohibited. It will be protected by the researchers. Privacy and confidentiality. Our study just needed the demographic profile only, grade level, and strand. So we will just state their grade level and strand of our respondents. Informed consent. The researchers will send an informed consent to all the respondents, the school principal, and the teachers before conducting a survey. Informed consent, we will send the teachers and our principal our consent for us to continue our study. Vulnerability of participants. Researchers have assured that there is no vulnerable participant in the study. It assures that all the respondents are in good condition, such as no disability or senior citizens that are physically and mentally capable of this study. Vulnerability of human participants. We assure that our respondents are 100% mentally stable. Assent. This study concluded that its respondents will be fully aware of the study. Thus, it is their decision to participate in the research. The researchers have included that there will be no constraining against the participants. The researcher will be responsible for the entire well-being of the respondents. So, our assent is we have a respondent. So what will happen with respondents will our obligation to fix them. Risk. The respondents might as well have some minor discomfort in participating in the study. It may trigger their emotion as to the study may include some serious topic. So we have risk in our study like it's involved in parenting. So there might be some serious situations like or 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 can make them discomfort in our study. Benefits. The researchers might as well interact with the participants to those opportunities so that the participants can tell what they truly feel in cooperating. Participants might as well share what they feel in participating to the study. So we researchers will interact in our respondents so that they can tell what can truly feel in participating in our study. Incentive or compensation. There will be no compensation that will happen. If the participants wants to participate, then it will be a big help to the researchers. As the researchers said, there will be no constraining. If the participants wants to be compensated, then the researchers will discuss it thoroughly and decide what to give the participants. So there will be no compensation that will happen because first thing is we send them a consent. We researchers not force them to participate in our study so that there will be no compensation that will happen. If the participant wants to be compensated, then we will discuss it what to give the participants. Collaborative terms and conditions. The researchers make sure that there will be no other group that have the same study. They will end up competing with others if there will be the same study as the researchers who conducted the study will get recognition as a primary investigator. Data usage. The study is for academic purposes only. After conducting it, the researchers must destroy any other information in the study that are not relevant for the future researchers that will conduct the same study. The researchers' observation and experience, same as the participants, must not show it to the public.